Hey guys. Welcome back to Movie Recap. Today I'm gonna show you a 2015 historical thriller film called Colonia. Spoilers ahead. Sit back, relax and enjoy. The movie begins with the scene of Lina on the plane. She's on a plane that is about to land in Chile. The plane lands and the whole crew ride a van to town, but they come to a stop because the street is blocked. They looked outside and they are troubled with the chaos. There's a whole crowd of protesters blocking the way and they are screaming in anguish because of the inflation and shortages going on. She then sees her long-distance lover Daniel and hops out of the vehicle. The couple sees each other and makes up for the time they've not been together. When they arrive at Daniel's apartment, she takes the time to look around and sees photographs and posters laying everywhere. Daniel tells her how his new hobby makes him busy and it's the purpose why he came to Chile. Later that day, Daniel brings Lina to an assembly where he gives a speech. Daniel includes in his speech that he treats Chile as his own country ever since he came there and continues to talk with aggression about how he thinks people should not suffer and take the burden for the rich. The screams and loud cheers of the people filled the room. The next morning, Daniel receives a phone call and notify him about the military coup that's happening and that General Pinochet has taken over. Meanwhile, President Allende supporters are being arrested and the posters that Daniel made are also confiscated. Daniel is sensing that they are coming to his apartment, so he takes Lina, and when they reach the street they see the military forcing people to line up. Daniel grabs his camera and starts to take pictures secretly. Even Lina feels uneasy because it's too risky. Shortly after, a shot echoed through the street causes people to start running in panic. The military quickly chase after them and beat them. Daniel, who is still taking pictures, walks closely to take more pictures but gets notice. The military beats Daniel for documenting their repressive acts and they take the couple to a stadium where a helicopter lands. They see a man with a bag over his head together with the general walks out of the helicopter and goes to them. The man with a bag over his head has a role to play, and that is to point out Allende supporters from the crowd. Not long after, the man recognizes Daniel. He then tells the general that Daniel is the one who made the posters. They immediately take him to a bus and drive away. Lina, who is scared, confused and puzzled, is then released from the stadium. She goes back to the apartment feeling down and miserable when she finds everything in the apartment destroyed. Lina, with a broken heart, is eager to find her lover, and goes to the other Allende supporters hoping that she'll get some answers. The group informs her that Daniel has most likely been taken to a place called Colonia Dignidad. Lina seeks for their help to get Daniel out of the said place, but unfortunately they can't do anything for the meantime since the military is tracking them down and their plan for now is to hide. Presently, Daniel wakes up to an unknown place tied to a metal bed. During the interrogation, Daniel says that he is a German and is innocent, but he is known as the one who made the posters, so no one believes that he's innocent. Unsatisfied with Daniel's answers, the man starts to beat, electrocute and torture him. Pius came disguised as a good man and assures Daniel that he's no longer in danger and is now in his care. Lina, on the other hand, is furious after the Amnesty International ignores her cries for help, saying, Colonia Dignidad is a long-established, respectable and government-approved enterprise. The guy set up a loud music then reveals the ugly truth to Lina. Turns out that her boyfriend is in a cult run by Pius, and they warn her that she may never get out if she decides to go after her boyfriend. Without second thoughts, Lina dresses herself and goes to Colonia Dignidad by herself. Gisela welcomes her and asks her if she wants to join them. Lina, who is pretending to be a God seeker, says yes and she wants to follow God. In a room, the doctor is evaluating Daniel and everyone can see how baffled and horrified the doctor with Daniel's condition. The doctor tells Pius that the torture may have been damaged Daniel's brain, and Daniel grabbed the opportunity to pretend that he's now mentally challenged. They believe him too, not knowing that he's smart and capable. They escort Daniel, who now calls himself Hans, to a blacksmith to look over him. The blacksmith believes he is brain damaged and give him meaningless tasks. While the blacksmith is away, Daniel starts to search the room and finds a room with camera. The blacksmith caught him shortly after, but he pretends to be looking for a bathroom to pee. Lina is officially a cult member and meets the other workers. She greeted them, but they avoid speaking and even look at her. After Gisela leaves, Doro, who is one of them, reach out to her and asks her if she's from the outside. After Lina says yes, and a few talking, Doro became so much comfortable with her that she tells Lina her secret about getting married to a guy named D0wn. The next morning, Lina accidentally spilled Doro's secret to Gisela, causing Doro to get in trouble. That night, Gisela forcefully takes Doro by the hand and bring her to an assembly where male members of the cult gather. Lina goes after them when Gisela forgot to lock the door. She looks through the window, she sees Doro's terrified expression. There are also little boys singing in the background. Pius signals the little boys to stop singing and starts smelling the air. Disgusted by smell, he apprises the room that it stinks, and the reason because the devil is within Doro. D0wn, Doro's secret lover is asking about how he thinks about the ugly stinking cow. The lovers look into each other's eyes. Dieter is full of hesitation, but still give an acceptable answer Pius, and agrees to Pius. He is then asking to drive the demons from her body by beating her up and continue to inform them that it needs to be done to relieve the demon. Dieter starts beating his lover while all the men cheers. On the outside, Lina is still peeking and witnessing all of the happenings inside. She then catches sight of Daniel in the crowd. The other men join Dieter, but they notice someone peeking from the outside. Lina immediately runs back to the dorm. Pius didn't see Lina or who it is, and instead he starts to beat Gisela for not locking the door. The next morning, Lina spots Urzel alone, and asks about Doro's condition. Urzel assures her that she'll survive. Lina remembers seeing Daniel in the crowd, and asks Urzel how to be taken to the men's gathering like Doro. Lina later on, do what she needs to do, she takes all her clothes off, and jumps on the water. Later on, Lina's plan succeeds and they take her to the men's gathering saying the water stinks now because of what she did. But this time she can't spot Daniel in the crowd. When she is about to be beaten by the men, they are all stopped by the alarm. Someone triggered the alarm, and they find Daniel's body on the ground. Due to Daniel's mental capacity, they believe that Daniel is just wandering off, and accidentally sets off the alarm. They didn't think much of it since he's believed to be mentally challenged. But the truth is Daniel is desperately trying to escape that night. He climbed the barbed fence and gets electrocuted. Lina and Daniel sees each other for the first time again after being in the cult for months. She asks him to meet at the potato shed after the mixed parade. During the event, they unravel the truth about the colony, and why this kind of place exists, and the reason is because the government is turning a blind eye since Pius sells them weapons. They also want to buy the poison gas, but want to see if it works first. Pius suggests to use it to Daniel since he is considered useless. As the couple meets again, Daniel expresses regret for bringing Lina in this place, but Lina says she joined because she wants to find him. Daniel finds a tunnel unexpectedly and explores. He discovers a room, and it's not just any room. He's especially familiar with this setting because it is where he was tortured. The memories flash before his eyes, and wreck the equipment used at him out of rage. The next morning Pius calls for Lina through the speakers to have a conversation. During the conversation, he tells her to keep an eye on Urzel as he sees her as a woman with a brain and can't be trusted. Turns out Urzel is given the same command, to keep an eye to Lina. Urzel speak out about her hatred towards the place, and her hopes to leave mainly because she's pregnant. The three of them has plans to leave the place tonight considering the fact that the poison will be tested on Daniel tomorrow. Daniel explains his discovery on the tunnel, the passages, and what he assumes to be the exit to the outside. Daniel shows Lina the pictures he secretly took while acting mentally challenged in the past few months. He wants to expose the place to the world, and put an end to it. Their conversation is interrupted with the sound of Gisela's tractor. Daniel quickly hides in the tunnel, but drops one of the photos by accident. Lina tried to hide it, but Gisela eventually found it and notified Pius. Using his big dogs to scare Lina, Pius interrogates her about the photo, but Lina insists she doesn't know anything. Right at that moment, Daniel walks in to say that he's the one who found the photo first. He then leads Pius to the blacksmith room where they found all the remaining photos. Pius thinks the blacksmith betrayed him, and put all the blame to him, so they let the couple go. Gisela is escorting Lina back to the dorm when she notices Daniel. Lina smacks Gisela from behind, and goes back to Urzel to escape. Pius realizes the true plan of the couple, so he commands all of the members to start looking for them. The three manages to escape from the tunnels, but Urzel accidentally trips on a trap and is shot. She died on the spot. The two continue the breakout, and successfully reach the German embassy where they expose the place, but a bit later they see Pius meeting with them, and they realize that they fell on a trap. So they escape through the window, and when Pius find out, they alerted all the security to catch them. Pius also calls the pilot, and command him to cancel the flight, but after considering the pilot takes off, and they finally move out of Chile. The movie ends when Daniel's plan to expose the colony not totally succeeds. It became well known, sparks controversies, debates and protests, but the Chilean government did nothing. It operates for more years until Pinochet is out of the government, and finally Chile became a democratic country. This movie is a true-to-life story of abuse, torture, and 44 years of repression of the Chilean victims by a cult of ex-Nazis in 1900s. The movie is meant to take and let the viewers experience the terrors inside the said place. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this to help the channel out. Have a nice day.